What up? What up? Ibn Web, Ib Web, Quran the Sum. Think I'll be Quran this go around here. Actually, interesting. Obviously, Quran being my first name. That I never got called Quran in my life up until probably when I transitioned out of college into to adulthood here. You know, I went with Quran here, but Ibn Ib Quran Q bunch of names here, but it's cool here. Never mind that. Let's get into this. Got another go around. It's official thanks thing here. Actually, this is speaking of adulthood. I'm actually gonna talk to a gentleman who I met in my adulthood life. Just great all around man in regards to just being a family man. He's a father. He's a husband, and actually he was an excellent athlete as well too. Growing up here, Paul Spence. Like I said, I'm excited. Like I said, just to be doing this. People just willing to give some time here to, to talk or what have you here. But like I said, it's been a blast. So I'm gonna get to this. Hold tight. Nah,
I'm
I didn't
good.
know. I ain't
I'm
know.
good. Look. I'm grayed up just like you, bro.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Man,
man.
thank you so much. Like I said,
Oh man, you
for
family, bro.
uh,
I'll do this for you. Yeah, you know you can call me anytime. I'll do stuff
uh,
like this. I'll do this. Let me see. Make sure I got this.
you good, man. Yeah, I think you're sexy in place, man. You good.
Nah, I just because I got a little dark part on them. I
Oh,
want
the
to make.
dark part on the side here. I don't know if you got something over the.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's
Let's
see.
see.
No, I don't do that. I
I
think
mean,
you good. You good right there?
we
You
good.
good
Yeah, no, we good, man. Like I said, you good, man. They'll be able to see you, man. I make sure.
right there? No doubt, man. How's
Nah,
the family doing?
everybody good, man. I mean, everybody good on your end.
Everybody good, man. We great, man. We just maintaining. They out right now, so I'm just
Okay. All
yeah. I
right.
said,
And probably killing a little bit of me time. I know how that is when the
oh
kid or the kids and the wife
yeah,
leave. Like I got a few minutes to
yep,
myself.
yep. It's nothing like it. Let me make sure. Let me turn down my volume. Yep. Okay, I'm good, man.
Nah,
Wifey gonna join you?
nah. This is
Oh,
all
just
me,
me and
man.
you. Just me
Yeah,
and you.
this is
Okay.
just you and I, man. Just
Oh,
you
that's
and I.
what's up.
I
That's
know.
what's up.
Like I mentioned to you, man. I started something like top of the year, and I just kept going with it. I was like, you know what? Let me see what I could do. And actually, it's meaningful too, man. Just to kind of get like my everyday folks,
Right.
heroes, what have you, here on a
Right.
call, just talking, learn some
Right.
things I ain't never know. I mean, just kind of
Right.
be a little bit nosy here. And folks have been, like I
Nah.
said, forthcoming and been real good
Right.
with it, whether it's family or other
Right.
folks or what have you here. So, like I
Right.
said,
Right.
Paul is great. It's
No
great.
doubt, man.
So
No
I'm gonna get a
doubt.
little nosy here, man.
Go ahead. Go
Nah,
ahead, man.
cool.
Yeah.
Nah,
What?
as far as I know, you down in Maryland now, but we go up 95 back to
Yep.
Connecticut, what have you, man. Like, are you was raised, born there, or you just end up in Connecticut? How'd it
No,
go down?
I'm born and raised in Hartford, man. I'm a Hartfordite, man. I did all my education there, elementary, middle, high
Okay.
school, and college. So the whole spectrum. So I'm just how Hartford is. It's so small. I know if I don't know you, I know somebody that might know you. So I'm
Yeah.
like we one cat away from knowing somebody in Hartford. So if I don't know you, but I know somebody that might know you,
Hmm.
they be like, oh I know Quran or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like that. It's very. I'm blessed. I mean, I always represent Hartford all the time. As
I
you see,
see.
I
You
got
guys
my
see the shirt? Yeah, I
Hartford
peeped the
Public.
shirt.
Yeah,
I
Hartford
peeped it.
Public basketball. This is what
Absolutely.
made me. This gave me the opportunity to move and meet you and do my job and travel all over this country and connect
Yeah.
with a lot of people because I was able to establish myself with basketball, but I made sure I took care of my schoolwork first. So I
Nah.
was just I came from humble beginnings. My parents, immigrant from Jamaica,
Hmm.
so they instilled that hard work. They instilled education because my parents grew up poor, and they came here in 1966 with a dream and making a better life for themselves and creating a family for me and my brother and my sisters and stuff. So I always listen to my parents in terms of how they grew up and how they struggled. Like they had no, my father Grew up country in Jamaica. Mom, same way. So they told me about all their humble beginnings, and they wanted me to take advantage of all situations that I was presented in front of me in terms of making sure I get my education, meeting the right people, staying out of trouble,
Yeah.
drugs, not following people who are all about trouble. So it's just I'm just blessed to be where I am today. I wouldn't trade
Nah,
anything
absolutely,
else
man.
that I went through to get to this level right now. So
Nah, absolutely. Now, what part of has it been the same part of Hartford? What part of
yeah,
Hartford?
I grew up my childhood. I grew up on Cabot Street
Okay.
off of Albany Avenue. I was there until I was 9, and then I moved to the west end of Hartford over by Capitol Avenue, and I spent my elementary school years all the way till I graduated from college on Arbor Street off of Capitol Avenue.
Hmm.
So I grew up, and from there I was there was a park across the street from my house, so that's where I was able to spend my days, just
Yeah.
playing in the park. And then at the age of 9 and 10, I just picked up the basketball, just started playing, and I just it was, how it is. You just practice
Yeah.
every day until you got good. So I was able to meet some incredible people as kids that I'm still friends with to this day. They saw me develop as a person. They're part of my development as a person because they saw me grow from a kid to an adult. I always used to sit back and listen to them tell stories, or if they ranking on each other, I'm sitting there.
Hmm.
I was just so attentive to listen to everything, and they all. The thing about that too, being blessed because I used to have different people from coming from all over Hartford too. It was a small little park and the Day Park. It's called Day Park and off of Orange Street, Arbor Street, and the runs there used to be ridiculous. And like if you lose, you have to wait probably about a good 45 minutes because there was
Hmm.
so much competition at that small park. But Hartford is definitely is spread out in terms of the big areas. And back in the day you go to parks and play, but
Hmm.
this was a small park, but it wasn't like the big parks that you heard of, like Kinney Park. That's
Okay.
where all the legends go off. That's where all the so-called, not so-called, but the legends. Let me not say so-called because I don't
Nah,
want
nah, nah. Yeah, because they somebody come right
to.
to your house with
They
a
be like, yeah,
ball
they were
wanting
just
to.
knocking on
Yeah.
the door. But all the
Yeah.
legends, was in the north end of Hartford, Kinney Park. That's where all the legends played and did they thing. But I was able to hone my skills at Day Park, and I also went to Elizabeth Park, right at the cusp of West Hartford and Hartford, right
Okay.
on South Whitney Street.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I was between those two parks growing up, and I was able to just meet people and develop my game and just stay at it. I was just competitive and I was just trying to be good, just trying to keep up with everybody else. So, and I
Yeah.
was blessed. I was blessed to be able to do what I would do. So
Nah, absolutely. As I chuckle when you mentioned Elizabeth Park, that playground back then. Did they have the half moons back then too?
yeah, oh yeah, that's Half Moon's been
Yeah,
there forever, man. They've been
they've
there
been there
forever,
for
man. Yeah,
yeah.
been there
That's why
forever,
I'm laughing. I
man.
take
Yeah,
my
man.
daughter over it, and I just be seeing them going at it on the half moons. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
man. So it's like and I met some incredible people too, man. Like my important people that I grew up with. Of course, my brother Nalda. He's a year older than me. He's a big influence on me, and I got a couple of guys that were very instrumental in me growing up too. Buddy named Manny Reese. He's a big mainstay in Hartford.
okay.
He worked Park and Rec, and my mentor, who's no longer with us, his name is Don Langenauer. He passed away last year during COVID, sick and stuff. So I wasn't able to go to his funeral. He was a big instrumental in getting my name out there because it was a big separation of ball players in Hartford. Like all the best ball players was in the North End, and I
Hmm.
was in the West End, South End. So when you ever heard about ball players that were good in Hartford, they all came from the North End of Hartford.
Okay.
So I made it a point when I left North End of Hartford and moved to West End. I'm going to create it. I'm going to make it be known that there's a couple ball players in the West End of Hartford that's pretty good too. So
Yeah.
that kind of pushed me, motivate me to be good, and have people just look at the West End of Hartford too as and South End of Hartford as there's some ball players there too. So um, he was. They were two, and another big brother of mine. His name Lloyd McLean. He was a he kept me he like lived next door to me where I lived at in the West End of Hartford. Like as a kid, he like had us play all type of different sports: football, basketball,
Hmm.
even messing around with baseball. So
Okay. Okay.
we were just kept we kept this we just kept busy playing sports and stuff. And he was always a person that was very instrumental in me becoming a ball becoming a ball player that I was, because he made sure that we played every day and we were competitive, and he didn't take no shorts
Hmm.
in terms of making us making sure we compete at the highest level as kids. So we played hard no matter what it was too. And another buddy of mine named John Woods. He's another one that grew up, white kid that one of my good friends. He grew up across the street from me. He was
Okay.
another one, and another brother named Vinny Ithier. He's a Spanish cat. Um, he was a matter of fact, he's one of the older guys that played at Hartford Public High School. Matter of fact, he played ball with Michael Adams, who's another one of my big
Right.
brothers. But Vicente Ithier, he was like that cat when I was growing up. He was a bad ball player. He played like his last year in high school. He went on to play ball in Puerto Rico, but he was such a big influence on me because he walked on UConn. And
Okay.
back in the day, he played with Earl Kelly, Norm Bailey, um, I forget Vern Giscombe. It was before UConn became big, but he walked on. But they used to show the games on TV. So so anytime he got in the game, they used to show UConn games on Access TV. So I said every time UConn played, I'm watching the I'm waiting for him
Yeah.
to get in the game. So when he get in the game, so he's like, I'm screaming at the TV, "Oh, shoot it, man! Shoot it, man! Shoot it!" Like he ain't played the whole game. So I was like, making it was just a thrill watching him on TV. So he was one of the guys that he was instrumental in me trying to get on TV to play ball, because he was someone I looked up to too. He's another one of my big brothers. He ended up going to play ball. He ended up winning. He ended up playing for Puerto Rico national team in the Olympics in '88.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So he's official.
Yeah.
So
Nah. Sound like.
he's definitely official, man. So those are my core people that was instrumental in me just being who I am today, because they help push me. They help mold me, and I'm still connected to them to this day. You know how you get older and you lose contact with
Hmm.
with your people. I made it. I'm all about being loyal to people who were good to me growing up, and they were definitely those. That was my core. That was
Hmm.
my core people that helped develop me into the person I am today. So,
Nah, that's good money, man. I know you mentioned playing nine is when you picked up that rock, or at least had it in your hand and got going. And I know you mentioned you played multiple sports here. Was that like your first love, your first choice, basketball, or you just
no,
doing some
no.
other stuff?
Funny thing is, football was kind of my first choice. You know how we was playing in, sandlot, street lot
Yeah.
football. Everybody played football. Everybody wanted to be Tony Dorsett. Everybody wanted to be Drew Pearson,
Yeah.
Franco Harris. You know how it was Pittsburgh and Dallas back in the day when we were kids.
Yeah.
There was the only good team. So just watching them. But as I grew older and then started picking up basketball, I started moving away from football, and it's like, I'm loving this basketball because I I was I was good. I was starting to develop
Hmm.
into a good ball player. So I said, let me stick with this, and I was blessed enough just to pick it up as quickly as I did, because I was always practicing on my craft as a kid.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, did you play any leagues as a before high school? Did you do anything, or you just kind of
Yeah,
just around the way
no,
kind of thing?
it was mostly like rec league. Like we played in park and rec leagues, and there was this one particular 50-11 league that was a big not national, big citywide league that was very known when we was kids. So it wasn't. It was very instrumental in help developing us in terms of team concept and just learning how to play the game the right way, and it was very competitive. It was very competitive. Man, it was one season that when I was in eighth grade, we went undefeated the whole summer,
Yeah.
and then we got cheated. We got cheated in the playoffs. Of course, we went to the North End against some North End cats, and North End
Yeah.
we had a North End ref was biased. knew we was undefeated and then cheated us. So we walked off
Yeah.
the court. We ain't even finished the game because we knew
Yeah.
it was in hostile territory. Matter of
Mhm.
fact, it was in the old Stowe Village area on Naugatuck Street where we was playing the tournament. At. I said when we walked in, I said we knew the chips was already stacked against us.
Oh, you already knew. Yeah.
Yeah. So try to play our game. Refs wasn't giving us no calls, so man, we end up we were losing by like it was a real close game, and
Okay.
we ain't even finished. We just walked off the court because we got cheated.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So,
sound about right. Sound about right, man. Yo, what's yeah, you can tell you still hurt by it too. You
yeah,
know,
I
it's
am,
always
man, because that was because and the funny thing is that the team that won it, we blew them, we beat them like 3 times during the season, like
yeah.
easily.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, nah, that's
that's one that hurt me
I
real.
get it.
So, yeah,
Nah, I get it. I told me, trust me, I
yeah,
get it,
yeah,
man. Now, obviously, being where you was at, and obviously the name starting to drift around. Like when it was time to go to high school, it was no doubt you was going to Hartford Public, or
yeah,
were you going to sneak out and somebody try to grab you at the
yeah.
Northwest Catholics or something else, or were you going?
It's so funny that you say that because initially when I was because I was getting good grades, I almost went to Loomis Chafee
Okay.
coming out of 8th grade because I was my English teacher back in the day. Um, he saw me as a good student athlete in terms of
Hmm.
wanting me to go to Loomis Chafee. He's like, you should consider going to Loomis Chafee. I said, the only way I'll go there if my parents don't have to pay for school.
Right.
But back in the day, going to is not what it was now because going to Catholic school. I'm sorry, prep school back in the day is wasn't as influential as it is today
Okay.
because I was definitely getting the best education, but basketball competition was terrible. So remaining playing city school, playing playing with Hartford Public gave me the better chance of going to school. So it was like the 23rd hour when I received the word that they weren't going to give me a lot of money to go to school. So I just ended up going to Hartford Public because that was my best chance. And there's also I was trying to go to another high school that I was playing. It was in play, but it's not open anymore. It's called South Catholic.
Right.
It was a
Heard of that. I remember people telling me
yeah,
about that. Yeah.
yeah. It was a big. They were a powerhouse in the state. Coach named Joe Riley. I was trying to go there
Hmm.
because, matter of fact, his best player was John Pannone. He ended up going to Villanova.
Okay.
So he churned out a couple of D1 players out of that school, and he taught the game right, and brought discipline, brought different methods to the school, and to basketball in terms of getting players ready. Like he can take the average cat and make him into a tough player because he made him psychologically and mentally tough
Yeah.
going against city schools. So
Hmm.
he was the coach in Hartford that was the best coach in the Hartford region in
Okay.
terms of wanting to go to school. But of course, it was private. And then, of course, I took the test, passed it, but they weren't going to give me any money
Hmm.
because X, Y, and Z. I thought they had like a plan where you can work off the debt, where you can get a little money, but they didn't even offer that. But it
Okay.
comes to find out, his son was behind me, 2 years behind me, a dude named Luke Riley.
Yeah.
That's why I think he didn't want me to come because he knew I was getting ready to, I was gonna
Hmm.
go in there
Yeah.
and work it out. But
Yeah.
things happen for a reason. I mean, I wouldn't change anything that I did at Hartford Public because I had a great 4 years. Hartford Public is my home. I love Hartford Public, and it was good to me. So,
Yeah. You get to Hartford, you get to a pub, you get going. You right from the door. You playing varsity, or you got to earn your
yeah,
stripes, or what we doing?
yeah, I earned my stripes. First year, my freshman year, I sat varsity. I played a lot of JV. I had to wait my turn because there was some guys that was ahead of me, good guys that I played with. Brother named Troy Love, Chase Ricks.
Okay.
Um, they were tough, so I had to wait my turn. So I got in games periodically, but it was like at the end of my freshman, like how that first semester ends.
Hmm.
Cats started dropping like flies, like bumping
Yeah,
off.
them grades coming out. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so so when that happened, like I was getting in games like they were blowing out teams. I would get in, I would get my shots up, whatever, score like 9, 10 points, whatever here and there. So when the second semester ended and then found out Cats wasn't playing, then the door opened for me. I was like, and that's when everything took off for me. Then. So
Yeah. Yeah, and how exciting that had to be, man. Just eventually starting in freshman, you just going. Like, I mean, was it too much for you, or you was
no,
ready for it?
I was ready for it. I was ready for it. I was ready for the push because I felt that my years of just preparation, just ready,
Okay.
waiting my turn. I wasn't trying to overstep no boundaries and I wasn't trying to disrespect nobody. And I felt I worked my way up to the point that I could have played a lot, but of course, due to the casualty of Cash flunking off, they had no choice but to play me. So I was just able to take off me and a buddy of mine, who was a year ahead of me named Eric Johnson. We started playing. We
Okay.
started playing. I mean, we didn't do well in terms of just the season because the season was a wash, but we
Hmm.
ended up making the tournament and getting knocked out the first round. But I ended up so crazy. I played the second half of the season, still ended up making first team all conference my freshman year.
Now back then it was obviously the CCC, but
Yep.
it was all the schools. It wasn't they didn't do all conference breaking it down by divisions back then. Was it just
Yeah, they did. No, they did.
oh,
They did. It
okay,
was
okay,
CC East, West, North, and South. So we was in CC East. Teams that were in our division at that time was East Harper High School, Manchester, Wyndham, South Windsor, Enfield, Fermi.
okay.
I'm forgetting one more. I think that's it. Yeah, and us. That's seven. So yeah. So yeah, we, yeah. I was, but remember, but when I made all conference, I was shocked because
Yeah.
but quiet as kept, I was putting up numbers my
Okay.
freshman year, the second half of the season. I probably averaged close to 20 points my second year. That second
Mm,
half of the season, I
okay.
averaged close to 20 points as a freshman. So
Mm,
they must have saw something that I ain't seen.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
so I
Nah,
was
they
very
got it out of you.
I was pleasantly shocked when I made all conference, and I ended up making 4 years, of course, all conference
Yeah.
playing high
That's
school ball. So
nah, that's crazy, man. Like I said, and then obviously even with freshman year, the buzz is there now, so you
yeah,
can't. The buzz is in the city is there.
right.
So much as you that kid from the West End now, and it's about you, probably a couple other heads, at least during that time here, man. Just like
Mhm.
back then, I know AAU wasn't really the thing. I know in Jersey it was only like 2 or 3 AAU teams back then that was solid. But obviously now my grandmother got a team. You know what I mean? So many people.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
back then, like your summers, what did you wind up doing? Did you just play in summer leagues and
Nope, I just played summer leagues.
okay,
There was no AAU back then. AAU started getting big was like my end of my junior year, going into my
okay,
senior year. That's when they started going traveling all over the country to play in
got
these
you.
tournaments. So it was just starting to creep in terms of just getting big. But I missed all that. The thing but what was the big thing back then was going to 5 star and all the
Yeah.
basketball camps and stuff. So,
Hmm.
but that kind of hurt me a little bit because I wasn't able to go to camp
Okay.
until my junior year into my senior year. So, and that kind of like, because back then it was expensive to go to basketball camp. It was like
Mm.
$400, $400 to go to camp for a week. So,
Yeah.
like my parents was like, nah, you ain't doing that. So
Hmm.
I had to like really, really push my dad to get me to go to, pay for me to go to camp. Like dad, the opportunity for me to go, get see my colleges, so I go to school for free.
Hmm.
So he finally, he was able to cough up the money
Okay.
and allowed me to go to 5 star. I went to 5 star in Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh,
Robert Morris College.
Pennsylvania. How was that experience being down there? Who was down there when you were down there?
Um, who was there? Young Travis Best,
Okay.
kid Anthony, my little brother. He's still my boy to this day. Anthony Harris. He went to Danbury High
And
School.
Barry, right?
He was Hawaii. Calbert Cheney was at my camp.
Okay.
Um, I'm trying to figure out who else was there. Because I went at one of the last sessions because all the big names went early. So
Early on.
Yeah, those are the big names I was there when I went. So
How'd you do down there? I mean, how was it for you? I mean, you're away from
it was
home, all that time.
yeah, it was tough. I mean, I had a so-so camp because I didn't
Okay.
know. I went in there with the mentality that I got to score, score, score. But
Hmm.
it was like I was just trying to be seen. So I kind of like I did okay, but if I knew what I know now, I would have played a better. I would have been more of a point guard, show them I could play point, pass the
Hmm.
ball, which I can, and just show them I could play point guard at the college level. But I went in there with a scorer's mentality because that's all I knew. So
Hmm.
so it was a so-so camp. I still got, but the letters was coming in
I was
after I
gonna,
came
yeah,
back.
ask
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They
yeah,
came in. Letters came in. I got letters from UMass. I got letters from Manhattan, Fairfield, Iona. Um, who else? Damn, it was. We got one letter. Like got letters from Providence, Rhode Island.
yeah,
So all those, I got major looks from D1's teams out west. Cal Santa Barbara, um, Jacksonville. Damn, it was a lot of high mid major schools who sent
yeah.
me letters back then. So
And
I
that just
mean that was
that
that
had to
was
be,
just one summer. That was just one summer. So you imagine if I would have went 2 summers,
yeah, yeah.
and I would
Or
have learned the concept of what to need to do when I
the
go to
whole
these camps.
these
Yeah,
camp games, you know how to
yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because I think what it was because it was my going into my senior year, so I said like, oh, I gotta go in, I gotta just make something happen. I gotta try to score as many points as I want to, just be noticed. So it
Mm.
kind of like threw my game off in terms of doing what I'm supposed to do to be noticed. So it kind of like rushed me a little bit. I
Okay.
rushed myself without knowing, without getting schooled in terms of how to play. So I was
Hmm.
just because I missed so many years, missed so many summers not being able to go. So I was trying to get it back in all in one summer when I went. So it was kind of
Yeah.
tough. So it was kind of tough though. But I mean, you know, got my scholarship out of it, so I'm good.
Absolutely. Before we even get to that, man, like
Right.
that senior year, I mean, again, the team, you guys are winning more, a little bit more, and all that other stuff.
Uh,
Or were you kind of just kind of
no,
like, ah,
my senior year was a bust because I lost I lost a lot of key people my senior year because we were my junior year was fresh off of making a good run in the tournament.
mhm,
I played with my brother in high school and we made it to the third round that we got knocked out. Matter of fact, Buckley High beat us of all teams.
yeah,
Um, but they were hot. They got hot. They went on a run. They went on one of those Villanova type runs. They had to win to get in the tournament. They we beat them twice that year, and they ended up getting us in the tournament in
yeah,
the second round. So that was kind of tough. So my senior year, I had this one big man. He flunked off. His name's
mhm,
Harvey Kemper. He hurt. That hurt me big because he was the cat that I was just throwing the ball to down low. He was just punishing cats down low. So he flunked off, and a couple of key guards that I needed on the court flunked off. So I was stuck with a bunch of JV players. So you know how it was. They like throw the kids in that Paul. Everybody just jump on Paul. So
yeah,
I was trying to do everything. So my senior year was a wash. So
okay,
so we ended up losing the first round of playoffs. So but my sophomore year were my best years in high school in terms of tournament wise. So we made a good run during those 2 years. So it's so funny. My bookends, my freshman and my senior year, were my worst years. So go
interesting.
figure.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, go
Yeah,
figure, man. I know,
yeah.
but
But I
then
ended
it's
up
still
making, and I
all
ended up,
state, all
yeah, I
that
made
stuff.
all state. Yeah, I made all state my senior year.
Hmm.
So I was able to be blessed to do that. So
Nah, crazy, man. And with colleges, getting back to that, I mean, obviously you sound like you had the foundation as far as academically, that wasn't going to be a problem. But as
right.
far as getting that scholarship and just schools after you, man, like what was that process? I mean, during that time.
Yeah, it was more or less. I really I wanted to go to Hartford because University of Hartford was loyal to me
Hmm.
from my freshman year. I knew the coach before I
Okay.
even got to high school, and that's when they had just switched from D2 to D1.
Okay.
and we came in with a great class with myself, Jack Hayer, buddy of mine. He's still my boy to this day. Donnell Diggs, he's another. He went to Danbury High School.
Mhm.
Um, Brother of mine who's no longer with us, named Bonzel Johnson. He was one of the six that came in. And buddy of mine's, another buddy of mine, David Pritigan, he came in, and of course Vin Baker, he was part of
Yeah.
our class. So it was six of us because we were easily the best class that came to that school because of the congenitals. Everybody, like five of us made all state from Connecticut.
Okay.
We were top notch players, but we went in looking to contribute right away. But the coach didn't know how to integrate us into his system because
Hmm.
he was a defensive
Okay.
first coach. So we came in, everybody had to like conform their games to what he was coaching, which was kind of hurt us because with the class that we had and the team that he had already there, we should have went to the tournament at least twice.
Yeah.
Twice. My freshman year, we came in. One kid, he was a goon. His name was Lamont Middleton. He ended up he was one that he was there before I got there. His freshman year, he was the first player to make all conference first team since Reggie Lewis.
Mm.
He was a beast, yo. He was a
Yeah.
beast. He was the program was focused. We all went there because of him because he was that good.
Okay.
So we kind of looked at him like, yo, he was like he had like an Adrian Dantley type game. He was muscle down low,
Hmm.
wide shoulders, be strong, mid range. He was a 20-10 cat in our conference in America East.
Yeah.
So we had the best. We our freshman year was our best season that the coach had, but we ended up losing the first round of our conference tournament because I don't know what happened. That was our best shot of going to the tournament our freshman year. I barely played that year, and a bunch of us barely played. Only one that really was playing a lot was Vin. Vin got a
Okay.
lot of playing time our freshman year because of
Okay.
his length, and he surprised a lot of people our freshman year because Vin was like he grew. He was 6'7" our our senior year in high school. He grew 3 inches over the summer
Yeah.
when he got to Harvard. So he was 6'11", but he was frail. He was real thin, but he could handle that rock.
Hmm.
He was going hard at the big man. He dunked on a couple of the big dudes as a freshman. Like
Hmm.
it was an eye opener. So that kind of
Okay.
like catapulted him into the rotation because he was coming on like that. His confidence was through the roof at that time, man. So
Hmm. And how was just your adjustment? Obviously, I know you say you got some playing time, but just being on a college campus. Granted, you're 10 minutes from the crib, but it's still a different world. Like
right,
just
right,
I mean, just kind of just everything, man. All that going on and wanting to get minutes. You had a
yeah.
D1 school. Like how'd you just manage all this?
Yeah, because what it was is like when, like, of course, you can get to school your freshman year, your aspirations going pro. So I'm like, all right, I'm going through the motions, whatever it is. But my main focus, because I still remember what my parents told me: get your education, get your education.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I already knew my focus on campus was to get my education. I had, even though I was close to home, I would go home for a day or whatever, go wash clothes, get something to eat, come back on campus.
Hmm.
But I would just focus on trying to be the best person I could be in terms of a student first, ball player second. But it was a struggle, going from being getting all this playing time, getting shots up, and then all of a sudden you're very limited in terms of playing time, shot selection, and just dealing with the politics of college basketball. It was it weighed on you a little bit
Okay.
in terms of this, wanting to play, but you're doing your all, doing your best. But then I realized after my freshman year, I said, just kind of realized that it was time for me just to stay focused on getting my education. But at the same time, I'm still being competitive. I
Yes.
still got the competitive nature in me. I'm not going to just
Absolutely.
tap out because I'm not playing. Still competing in practice, did what I wanted to do, but but the coaches had their own opinion in terms of who they wanted to play, why I didn't play, whatever. But it was it
Hmm.
was it was it was it was tough. It was a tough 4 years for me in terms of just not playing like I wanted to. But
Okay.
I played. I started a few games. I played. I started a few games freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. Freshman year didn't play at all. So, but I mean, I did get in the games. I made some impact on some games. So I had a good time. I had a good time.
Yeah. Nah, it's interesting, man. Obviously, you got the scholarship. You in college, something probably a lot of people in your family, I'm assuming, might not have had the opportunity to do.
Right.
So I mean, there's other things to do. There's other things to get to, and it sounded like, man. So man, that just says a lot. I mean, sometimes I know, and you brought it up just on some going to college. You thinking, all right, this just one step away to do this pro thing because
Right.
you're human. You're human. You dream
Right.
big and want to do
Right.
big, but sometimes reality sometimes settle in, which is not a bad thing. But it just you
Right.
just make some tweaks to your mission and what you're trying to do here, man. Like,
Right. Right.
and I know some people still probably bitter to a lot of things these days that they're hanging on to and they're not letting reality. I was told reality is either going to come voluntarily or it's going to come by
Right.
force. So
Right.
you
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean. So it's got
Right.
take your
Right.
pick. Take
Right.
your
And the thing about that too, Q, is like I knew I was comfortable who I was back then, even though
hmm
I wasn't, I wasn't a so-called college star basketball player, but people knew me. I mean, I developed great friendships.
Yeah.
Still got friendships over the years because of college,
Yeah.
and I could pick up phones. I could text people. They'll hit me back if it not within a day or so, whatever. So I mean, I wouldn't change anything. The only thing I would change is my preparation for college
Okay.
because I didn't know what I was going from going to high school to college in terms of the whole weight thing. I
Okay.
didn't know the weight thing. Like I didn't lift weights in high school. That was another thing. I
hmm
always thought that as you know, some cats back in the day they think lifting weights would stunt their growth, stunt their development.
Right.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but I thought that too because I was a shooter and I thought weights would mess up my jump shots. I was like, I ain't shooting I ain't lifting no weights. Damn, I'm gonna lift weights for it. So when I got to college, it was a rude awakening. Like I was like behind the eight ball in terms of development because
hmm
I couldn't lift weights. So it was all I had to work on that. That was part of the struggle. Yeah, my coach was real. He was real particular about stuff like that in terms of being in shape in preseason, running sprints. Like you decided you thought that everything was decided on the court, but he made everything how you came into shape, how you came into school in shape. I wasn't in the best shape, but I was in decent shape. But of course, during our preseason, I got into shape during the
Right.
season. But
Right.
but if you wasn't coming into shape before preseason, then you would then you, they the coach would look at you sideways like, what you was doing off summer? I'm like, damn. I thought we come to school, but I know, but looking at it now, that's their full time job. That's coach's full time job. So
hmm
they got to be hard on you in terms of being ready. So I never had nobody coming down from college telling me, "Yo, Paul, this is what you got to
Okay.
do when you get the D1 school. You got to be in shape, lift weights, watch your diet, watch what you eat. Just make sure you focus on what you're trying to do because that's part of the battle in terms of fighting for playing time because you're playing against different competition. Because as you know, you go to college playing football, basketball, everyone made all state. Everybody was a man. So
Everybody
everybody,
was yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So now you're just competing who in terms of how much you want it more than the other person in your
hmm
position. So
Yeah. Nah, absolutely, man. And I know, and it's part of life. And I think you learn. I think definitely. I mean, just kind of just it's part of it's growth. Is
right.
growth. And I think even with the sports thing, like what is that giving you that stuck with you to this day, like playing sports?
Like playing sports is like it helps in terms of just dealing with everyday life too because it teach you discipline, it teach you focus, it teach you how to deal with people you as you know in the work sector. You go come across people that you have static with or you gotta figure out a plan how to deal with difficult people every day, how you got to do your work properly. If you mess up, you got to just focus on making sure you don't take what is being said to you critically. You just go and just look at what you did wrong and make the correction and keep it moving. So you just it's all mental. It teaches
Hmm.
it's all about mental preparation with sports, because sports was a big influencer on me, in the workforce, because it helped me deal with certain situations, deal with certain people, how to deal with crowds, how to deal with
Yeah.
certain sectors, certain people. It definitely it also teach you team concept. It teach you, as you know, how to be a team player, how to
Hmm.
speak up when you don't feel right about certain situations, being able to go talk to people professionally and voice your opinion, good or bad. So sports incorporates in what we do in our work life, because it helps in terms of being able to verbalize your stuff properly to people, not come across as being aggressive. So you develop that skill in college. So all that, just that whole college life, sports life, they're all intertwined with what we're doing today. So
Yeah. And speaking about today, man, how's life been as a father, man?
it's great, man. It's great, man. I love my girls. Charlie, she's
Hmm.
11, and my daughter Brooklyn, she's 9. But I can't fathom life without them, because they keep me young, even though I got the grays on my chin, but they keep
Hmm.
me laughing.
Yeah.
I I always kiss them good night, kiss them good morning when I wake up. It's like my day's not my days don't start and end without me giving them kisses and hugs and stuff. So I'm blessed, man. I got great kids, great smart kids, beautiful kids,
Yeah.
beautiful wife. My wife Stacy, as you know Stacy. She's my rock. She helped me become a better person. Great mom to my kids. She's the heartbeat of our family. She makes sure things are straight with us, and I'm just blessed to have her and my girls. So I'm
Yeah.
just
Now, I know how it is, man.
yeah.
Especially
How
with
about
daughters,
yourself, man? How about you? How
especially
about you, man?
with daughters. I mean, I tell you what, I know, when I know I was going to become a father, initially as a guy, I won't say all guys, but most guys be like, all right,
Right,
I'm gonna get this boy. I'm
right,
gonna get this boy, and I'm
right,
good.
right, right,
So,
right, right,
and I know when the doctor was like, nah, we going the other way with this.
right,
You
right,
know,
right,
yeah,
right,
actually, it was
right, right,
cool. It was cool, and to this day, man, I say I'm so happy I have a daughter instead of a son. I think it was, you open up to new things, you soften up a little bit, still firm, but you soften up on
right,
some things. And I think too, like, I get to just do different things, man. You know what I mean? Even early on a Friday night, I'm playing Barbies and all this
right,
other stuff,
right, right,
man. You know
right,
what I mean?
right,
So
right, right,
versus,
right,
going to shoot
right,
some hoops. So
right,
I'm
right,
so happy I got a daughter instead of a son. I can honestly say that. I can honestly say that.
right. And the thing about that too is like I like me being in the sports, I try to incorporate basketball into my girls' life. I mean, they still at the age where they can still pick it up, but I don't force it on them.
Hmm.
Like if they want to learn how to play ball, they know they can come to me, whatever.
Yeah.
But I got my nephews, I got my godsons, so I got I got plenty of nephews, not immediate family, but my boys' kids.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
They all my nephews. I call them nephews. They call me
Right.
So I mean, I'm blessed to see them doing what they're doing with the basketball. Even my brother's son,
Hmm.
they did their thing in basketball in terms. Like my nephew, my brother's son, just finished up at Northwest Catholic this season, but he blew
Okay.
out his knee
Ooh.
um, during they played a game against Windsor this year. So I was able to watch the games on YouTube. He
Hmm.
came into his own. He late bloomer, but he was focused. He ended up making all conference. His name was Amari Spence. He played at Northwest Catholic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's such a he's one of the line of many of my nephews that play ball. So I was so proud of him doing his thing. And I was
Absolutely.
kind of heartbreaking when he hurt his knee though. But he's rehabbing real good, and
Hmm.
he's going to matriculate at Southern in the fall. So he's
Okay.
a very smart kid though. So he's focused on what he need to do. But
Good. Good.
and then
Good.
and I have another nephew. He's at Central. He's getting ready to walk on there.
Hmm.
So hopefully he'll be able to make the team there. So
All right, so that's basketball still infused,
yeah,
sprinkled throughout
right,
the
right,
Spences somewhere, man.
right.
Nah, good stuff, man. And like I said, Paul, I appreciate all this. I'm not gonna let you off the hook just yet, man. I
Yeah,
do this
no
thing
doubt.
called like on the spot here. Just ask some questions, some
Okay,
like either ors or just a direct question, man. Just have a little bit of fun here, man. So
okay,
like I said, I know you down south or down in Maryland, but
right.
you back up here, man. What are you a 80? You're 84 or you're 91 guy as far as highway?
Oh, 84, definitely. Oh, I go to Garden State to Tappan Zee, Brewster through Danbury. I go that way. I don't mess with 91, 95. No.
Yeah. Now I hear you sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know it's a little
yeah,
longer, but it's
yeah,
peaceful when you get
yeah,
through it. Now,
yeah.
absolutely, man.
I don't mess with that G Dub, man. Mm-mm.
I
No,
know.
sir.
I hear you. I hear you, man. Uh, Speaking of places or streets, what have you, Albany
You
Ave or
hear me?
Capitol Avenue? Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. Capitol Avenue. Yeah, that made me. Capitol Avenue. Capitol Avenue made me. Albany Avenue. I it wasn't the same after I left. So
Okay.
Capitol Avenue, definitely. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw you back. So, well, let me see. Raging Cajun or Poppins?
Oh, Raising Cajun. That was my spot. You know how it was.
Yeah.
Sure, you make that
Okay.
detour while you're out in the field. You remember
Yeah.
how it was? You go there for lunch. Like, hey,
Yeah.
let me pull up here.
Nah, that's funny, man. That's funny. Now I wasn't even around for these spots. Actually, one of them I was. As far as polyesters or no name,
Oh, no name. No
no name.
name. No name. No name.
Okay.
Thank you. Ooh, wait.
Yeah, I was up here for that. I was up here for that. So
Yeah. Polyester was cool, but no name. They had it on lock for years.
yeah, yeah. It's like I think it's like a bank or something now.
Oh, wait, get
Yeah,
out of here!
yeah.
Wow.
I think it's like a bank. So
I drove through downtown Harper. It's it's not even the
yeah,
same, man. I heard it's a ghost town now, man. In terms of
yeah.
nobody really. I heard everybody goes up to the West Harper Center now.
I think they'd be over there, but I'm gonna take you back downtown just real quick with this one. It's funny you mentioned that. I wasn't around for this, but Richardson Mall or the Pavilion.
Richardson. Yeah,
Okay,
Richardson. Yeah, Richardson was where you got all your stuff at. Yeah. Yeah. Pavilion, you get a couple of things, but Richardson was the spot though. Richardson
okay.
was the spot. Yeah. Yeah.
Salvin's Foot Locker.
Oh, Salvins, of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard they just closed,
yeah. They
man.
just
They had to
closed.
close their doors, man. Yeah, man. I got my first pair of Converse All Stars there, man.
All stars. The Dr. J joints. I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah.
yeah. No, I got both Chuck Taylors and the Dr. J's from there, man.
Okay. Yeah. Nah, man. Man, I heard that was just man a major
Yeah,
staple. Like I
that was a
said, I know.
mainstay. That,
Yeah.
All the hoopers went and got their sneakers from there.
Nah.
Yeah,
What
man. Also,
university? That's for
I'm
you.
sorry.
What?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. That's where you
No, I
stay
was going.
laced at.
No, I was going. Speaking of hoopers, I mean, I wanted to shout out all the cats that I fought against with in high school. Was my competition. It was my contemporaries. They were part of my development too. Just wanted to shout out Mike Williams, Troy
Funny you mention him.
McCoy.
Can I just stop for 1 second?
Yeah.
Never met him. I know that's your man. I mean, again, I just remember being in college, and obviously he was at UMass. Obviously for the whole other situation went down, but that was my man. Like I said, I was like, yo, I
Right.
love to meet him one day. Just the one other reason too, he had the mean fro, the mean
Yeah.
little, yeah. It always stayed cut too. So that was, and that was just that Jersey in me with the
Yeah.
little Brooklyn fros and all that. Yeah, I was like, that's my man. That was my man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, he was a year under me, but when I first met Mike, I met him when he was in eighth grade. I was ninth grade.
Mm-hmm.
At Jerry Curl. So he was
Ooh.
we played in this All Star game against we was at Fox Middle at the time. It was called Fox Middle. Now, I
Okay.
don't know what it's called now. So we had an All Star game against Mike Bibbins. Sorry. Mike Bibbins brought a team down from Boston.
Boston. Okay.
Yeah. So myself, Mike, my brother, another one of my boys, a couple of guys. So Mike just kept shooting. I was like, and my JV coach was the one that was coaching. I was like, Coach Waterman, who is this dude keep shooting? He would not pass the ball for nothing.
Yeah.
And then and so funny, Mike Bivens was just skating on Ooze, man. He was just coming down on Ooze like this. Mike Bibb already old, so
Mm.
but it was crazy. We lost the game, but the funny thing is, the next year, that was our spring of our summer, like my freshman year, his eighth grade year. So he goes on to Weaver High School. So I go see him playing. Everybody's talking about. I'm like, damn. I said, this is the same cat that I was just playing with not too long ago, gunning. Like he was getting like his buzz was real.
Okay.
His buzz was real.
Okay.
He came on the scene and did his thing, man.
Yeah.
But I always have respect. It's so funny. It was like in high school. It was like either like in Hartford.
Mm.
We were the two people that they were talking about who was better, me or Mike. So me or Mike, whatever. So but we go to rival high schools, but every time we saw each other, it was always love. We hugged that. We never hung out like that, but the mutual respect was always there because we knew each other for so long to this day. So that's my man that I played against. Another rival was Troy McCoy. Another one was Jonathan Greenfield.
Green.
Yeah. Green don't get the respect that he need to get as a cat. Now you don't hear his name.
I've heard people say that too. About him.
Green was nice. Green was a triple threat. He could rebound, pass, shoot. He had a mid-range game, but he was just he didn't force a lot of stuff. He made things make look so easy.
Yeah.
Another one of my cats, God bless the dead, he just passed away this year. Corey King.
Okay.
He went to Press Tech, 6'7" cat. He's another one. Herdell Christie. That's my brother. Our families were Jamaican. Our families knew each other. I knew him. We were in the same fourth grade class. He was 6'2", played like a 6'8" cat. Yo. He was a monster, monster. So and during our era, when you came to our games, you was going to get entertained by all of us because all of us were all special in terms of just being able to keep you entertained for an hour and a half when you came to our high school game. So it was just like that. And the competition was a lot tougher compared to what these kids faced in high school after us. So we used to play against the New Haven, Bridgeport team. We used to play in the Doc Curley Classic when it was just us and the New Haven schools. So we used to sell out. We used to sell out new. Matter of fact,
the Civic Center was it?
No, University of Hartford.
So they play that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they after we got out of high school, they moved to the Civic Center.
Okay.
So those are. I just want to shout out my contemporaries who I played against with back in the day because it was always love with all them dudes, man. And we kept the bond throughout the years. Every time we see each other, there's always love and hugs and daps and stuff, and just reminiscing about games and just the competition.
Yeah. Nah, absolutely, man. I'm asked about some plays.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no. But I dig the just shouting folks out, man, because we don't get to who we are. You don't get better as a player. But to your point here, people that you never even hung out with, but that mutual respect was there throughout the years and even to this day, man. That's solid. That's real solid.
Right.
Yeah. And just being silly here. University of Hartford or Hartford Public?
Oh, Hartford Public, of course. I'm saying, college, college wasn't a good, but Hartford Public was where I gained my fame. So, and also we repping Mike Adams and Marcus Camby from high school. So big bro, little bro. Mike is my big bro. Matter of fact, he's here in Maryland. So he was one of the first people. He was a cat. The first cat I reached out to when I moved down here. So I told him I was here. He looked out for me and looked out for me all throughout. I've been out here. Next year will be 20 years since I've been here.
Wow.
Yeah, but by quick.
You did, absolutely, man, absolutely. Waverly Summer League or Doc Curley Classic?
Waverly was where you made your name at. Waverly
it was
just,
yeah.
the pro-am ain't had nothing on Waverly.
Hmm.
Guaranteed, like,
Yeah,
man, it was just, whew, man. If you ain't come correct there, you will get embarrassed.
you
From
would. Yeah.
Waverly.
Hmm.
Respect to Pete and Kev, but nah, Waverly.
Yeah.
Because they, when Waverly started dying off, the shift was going into the gyms. So
Okay.
that was after I got out of college when they started shifting to the gyms. So
Hmm.
that was like in the mid '90s, so like '94, '95. That's when Waverly kind of died off, and then that's when the pro am kind of took off. So
But y'all had people. It used to be packed. I hear
standing
stories.
room, standing room.
Yeah, and it's
It's just
outside, man. It was nothing like
outside,
it.
as you know,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
'Cause I know it was nothing like the Rutgers, but that was Waverly was the Hartford version of the Rutgers.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So matter of fact, it was one summer when Michael Adams brought a bunch of his pro cats, and Rick Mahorn brought a couple of his pro cats, and they came there. That part was so
Woo.
crowded. It was crazy. It was a great atmosphere that day,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man.
And then if you ain't playing, you probably got to keep your fresh up too. I mean,
Yeah.
just being up
Oh
out
yeah.
there,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
an event.
Everybody.
It's an event.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. You have to
Yeah.
come correct with your crisp Air Force Ones and
Yeah.
and your and your
Absolutely.
and your leads and your deep BBDs. Remember the BBDs?
DVDs. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah. You gotta be careful when it's hot
Yeah.
though, cause
Yeah,
you.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Nah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, man.
Nah,
Cats.
nah.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah.
the
That was.
summer leagues, them old ones, man. Like you said,
Yeah.
everything is mostly in the gym these days,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, nothing like them, man. Best game you ever played in your life at any level.
Any level. See, it was a game against Manchester High School in high school. And when my senior year, I dropped like 38 on them, just cooking. Everything was
Yeah.
just, I was throwing everything up. I was just in the zone that game, man. It was against Manchester High School.
That was at your y'all get the W?
Yeah, we won. Yep,
Okay.
we beat him. We beat him at the pub too. So
Now is that's your career high? What's your career high?
yeah, 38. Yeah,
Okay.
38. Yeah.
Yeah. What's best team you ever been on in your life? Best team.
Best team. Let's see. I want to say best team was my sophomore year of high school. When we made a run to the quarter semis, that was my best team. Had
Okay.
a, we had a we had a we had a that was a great team that year. We should have won the championship that year.
Yeah.
Um, I say that because I was intermixed and I was playing. So
Hmm.
yeah, we had a great run. One of my boys, matter of fact, who was also another instrumental part of me being who I am today, dude named Troy Love. He was nasty. If
Yeah.
you if you if you ask cats about a dude named Troy Love, they will tell you he was
Hmm.
he had all the talents, but
Hmm.
didn't have the focus, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. And sometimes
Yeah,
it's
he
comings
was
of a lot of
talented.
folks.
He was
Yeah.
talented cat, man. Talented cat.
Yeah.
He was the one that pushed me to be who I am because he always encouraged me to be aggressive with that basketball too. So
Hmm.
I also credit him too. So,
Yeah. Any game you would like to have back?
oh yeah, that big one I lost to Buckley easily.
Yeah.
That one I can't live that one down. That and the and the one and that my eighth grade year when we lost
That one
to
you talked about
yeah
earlier.
yeah yeah when we was undefeated. Yeah, those two games I would I would
Yeah.
I would do anything to have those two games back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's someone who should have made it? However you want to define made it, whether it's at the college level or to the
Mike,
pros.
oh,
Some
easily Mike Williams.
like, yeah.
Mike Williams, no question down, no question. Mike Williams. He
Now
had the
did
gift. He had the gift. He just
yeah.
man, it's just man. And I tell you, a lot of people would tell you the same thing. Who was a hooper at my age? It's Mike Williams. He should have made league. He had league. He had league mentality. He had league. Yeah, league game. He can flip it anytime he wanted to because he worked. He was a cat that worked on his game. So I mean, he stayed in it. He was a gym rat, and he was just ahead of his time in terms of just the whole mental.
Hmm.
He can pull up on you. He can hit from 30 feet. He can get to the rack with ease. He can make the crazy shots. He just worked. You could tell he worked on his game. Like
Okay.
he put a lot into his efforts.
Mhm.
And I don't know what went on with,
I was
with
gonna
him.
ask you, did
Yeah,
he really rock Calipari? I mean,
yeah, I heard stories, but I mean, I know the stories ain't gonna really come out like that because nobody ain't gonna really say anything. But for him to get kicked off the team his senior year, and the pros were still looking at him too.
yeah.
They still wanted him because you saw what he was doing. Saw
Hmm.
what he did against North Carolina. You saw what he did against Arkansas.
Hmm.
So they were still on him
Yeah.
after he got kicked off the team.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's one of the conversations I always wanted to have with him, just to find out what. But well, hopefully one day I'll have that conversation with him. But if
Hmm.
not, but like I said, he's still my boy, regardless, because he
No, he's
always
not. Yeah, he's tough, man. He's tough.
yeah. No, in terms of just personality too, it like he will always be my boy. I hear a lot of people talk this and that, but when he sees me, he used to give me a big ass hug, and we used to just chop it up and just talk, for a few minutes without this.
Hmm.
So he always gonna be he's always gonna be a cat I always respect and love.
Nah. Good choices. Speaking of Hartford,
Yeah.
top five basketball players, in your opinion, to come out of Hartford.
That I seen him played against. Okay.
You've seen him played against, or if somebody later on, however you want to do it.
Okay. Top five. Okay.
This is Hartford, the city.
City Hartford. Yep. 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 Damn. I'm gonna
You
have
over
to
there
go. Oh,
googling something, man?
no, no, no. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. No, 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 no. I'm throwing my hands up.
Nah,
Throw my
that's
hands
yeah, nah, that's
up.
you, man.
Of course, you got to put Michael Adams at one.
Okay.
Okay. Two. Norman Bailey.
Okay.
He's another one of my big brothers. He was cold. He went to UConn with Northwest Catholic, but he's from Hartford. Three. From Hartford. Do we have to be? Do they have they? If they went to outside
Nah,
of
nah, from
school,
Hartford, from
from
Hartford,
Hartford,
from Hartford.
Troy McCoy. That's three. So let's see who else. Four. Marcus Camby.
Okay.
And five. This fifth one is going to kind of like throw you back a little bit. No, it's gonna mess you up a little bit because
Okay.
this cat, man, he was a throwback. He was a kid from RA from this era,
Hmm.
but he had an old school game. Kid named Charles Easterly.
Okay.
They
Where did
call
he
him they call him Beast.
East? That says enough. Says enough.
Yeah, yeah, because he was a 6'2" cat, but he was a player. He just put it like this. He went to Buckley and Weaver
Okay.
and won state championships for both schools.
Yeah. Say no more.
That cat, man. Woo!
Yeah.
Those are the five right there.
Okay.
My top five.
Yeah. Nah. Solid. I'm sure those who hear this going, and it's fun. I mean, it keeps it fun. They're
Yeah.
always gonna leave somebody out. You always, yeah, six.
Yeah.
Someone, yeah, six man.
Ooze.
Okay.
Ooze. Yeah.
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 Now,
Ooze.
yeah. Now, how
Yeah.
about No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, because it was hard for me to put Ooze in that five because this kid Eastling was just oof.
Yeah.
Man, he was a throwback special kid, man. And if you ask anybody about this kid Charles Eastling, they will tell you the same thing. He was like he would go at 6'8" cats. He was
Mm.
6'1". He was snatch. His jump off the ground was so crazy. He would grow. His thing was rebounding, but he just got so good in terms of just getting to the rack and scoring. He was so quicker than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He used to kill cats. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
But of course, again, right, the foundation, they didn't have the right people to direct him either. So he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't able to go to college and play no ball either. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I wish I was able to do before I left, was be able to help cats
Mm-hmm.
try to go that right direction. But it was hard when you have it's hard when you try to school cats and they don't respect history.
Right.
Like
Right.
it's you lost if you don't know where you don't know why you're here. It's because of people that's paved the way before you. And I have a problem with people not respecting history in terms of this. I don't want you to kiss anybody behind, but just respect that. Just know why things are in place, because of why you're able to do what you're doing now, because people before you,
Mm-hmm.
I think is I think it's because people just don't want to know
Yeah.
for whatever reason. It's just a different time. It kind of switched. It kind of like changed after I got out of college too. Like even like even the kids that came after me, they didn't respect history. So, but
And
it
that
was
is
tough.
so important, man.
Yeah,
It's so important, especially Hartford, just the rich
yeah,
history, not only the public, but also the high schools, but just the city in itself and those who came through there. Like, guys you just mentioned, it was tough probably to mention
right,
those 5 or 6, but yeah,
right,
just the history of it. Nah,
right.
definitely. And you the best, you the best to ever come out of Hartford High?
No, I ain't gonna even. Nope. Nope. I ain't gonna even do that to myself. Nope.
Yeah. You still you
I
still
just I just wanted people to. I just wanted to make I made my name. I just wanted to do. I played the best ball that I want to. I ain't gonna. It's too many great players that came out of our Republic. I will not do that to myself. Never.
you still the all-time leading scorer there?
Yes, I am. That I'll acknowledge. I'll acknowledge that.
Nobody has anybody come close? You ever got any?
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. I passed Mike Adams. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
Mike is too. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's gonna stay up there forever, because I don't think nobody, our Republic ain't gonna have no type of ball players like that ever again. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it was my brother that he kind of pointed that out, because I played 4 years of basketball at Harvard Public, and he's like, "Yeah, you scored a lot of points, man. Mike don't got more points than you, because the whole 3-point thing and all that stuff."
Hmm.
So, and then when they tallied up the points, I was like, "Oh shoot, I think I got more points than Mike." I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
yeah."
That's
But
all right, man.
but the greats,
Hmm.
you got Dwight Talliver. I'm sorry, let me start first. Eddie Griffin, Mr. Griffin. He was my gym teacher at elementary school. Didn't know he was a baller like that.
Hmm.
Dwight Talliver. You got Steve Waterman, who was my JV coach at Harvard Public. You got a dude named Dowd Tisdale. You got you got to do who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? You got my other big brother, rest in peace, Duffy Jernigan.
Hmm.
We got another brother, Boo Boo Lee, another one of my big brothers. All these cats are my big brothers. My other big brother, Tony Juckins. He was a coach. That brother right there, cold. People don't
Yeah.
talk about him. He went to Sacred Heart. He won a D2 national championship. They went to the state finals his senior year. They lost to Wilbercross, but he went to Sacred Heart when Sacred Heart was D2. Scored
Okay.
over 2,000 points. He's a Division II All American. Man, he was all time great, man. That's my big brother. I love that cat, man. He was so smooth with his game. Him, um, of course, Mike. All those my big brothers, man. And the thing of that is real pleasant, that they knew me as I was going through my thing. So
Okay.
for them to recognize who I was kind of like thrown back at that.
Nah, that's a good feeling though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but every time I used to see them, man, I dap them, hug them, say thank you. I tell them
Hmm.
cats thank you. I still call them big brothers to this day.
That's right. That's right. Then you obviously the Canbies and
Yeah, they after me.
the Kendrick. What was it? Kendrick Moore,
Kendrick
right?
Moore, yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
after me.
Those
Yep.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. They kind of, I mean, so funny. They
You the
show
big
love
brother.
too.
Yeah, yeah. You the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
brother.
they show love. But they don't respect that history like I do before
Hmm.
me. It's not,
Yeah,
it's like this. I don't know that from after me. It's like they like forget the history. I'm gonna create
yeah,
my own history. So.
yeah. Who's as far as even Connecticut? I know I mentioned five in Hartford, but during your time, I know you mentioned the
Oh,
one brother Anthony Harris. Any
yep.
like during that anybody that just kind of just
Oh
that
yeah.
you played against was kind of like
I give you some names. I give you some names. Maurice Williamson.
yeah down in New Haven, right? Super
Maurice
John is
Williamson.
pops. Yeah, Super
Yep. Yep.
John.
He was sick. He gave us, man. He gave us 45 at the Doc Curly. Oh man, we was up by 18 on them cats, man. His senior year, that was 88. He just exploded. I don't know what happened. We fell apart, but he just got the cooking, and we couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
He's one. Um, Donnell Diggs.
Hmm.
Um, let's see who else. Oh, the Huckabee brothers from Bridgeport, Bristol. Malcolm,
Malcolm.
Malcolm and Martin.
Hmm.
They were tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, them some good cats. Them cool dudes, man. Cool dudes. They don't get the love in Connecticut like they should because they were
They
tough.
they were tough. They
They
were.
were tough.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
tough. Kid named Alex Wright,
Hmm.
um, Harper Williams. He's another cat. He went to UMass with Mike.
Okay.
He went to Bassick High School. Alex Wright. He went to Warren Harding.
Mhm.
Another cat named Kerry Edwards. He's from Bristol. He ended up going to Manhattan.
Okay.
And my brother's cat, he's a Hartford legend too. They rival a kid named Scotty Coleman.
Yeah.
Scott the Rock. He was, man, sick,
Yeah.
sick, sick, sick. That's my bro right there. He went to Hall High School, but he's from Hartford. He's
Hmm.
another six man on that Hartford all time Hartford.
Okay.
He was special. He was
Yeah.
special. He went to Oral Roberts. Special. Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
ooh. He played D and shooting 6'2", dunking on cats though, like it was nothing.
Mm.
They they used to,
Yeah.
and then like in the north, and they compare who was better between him and Mike Williams. It was
That
always,
was the thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Them two.
they talked
Uh,
about it a lot. Yeah. See who else? You talking about guys that I played against, or just guys I
yeah.
know?
Just plays against around the time. Here's a
Yeah.
name we both know. Did you play
Christmas.
with Scott? Did you play against Scott at all? Satulik?
Oh, Burrell. Yeah, yeah. We played. Oh, you talking about Scott Satulik?
Did you get? Yeah. Did you play against him?
No, we played on some. We played in the leagues together. But
Okay.
Scott was good. He was good, but he
Yeah.
wasn't like no. He was good. He was
Yeah.
good.
You
Scott
said Scott
Burrell.
Burrell. Right.
Yeah. I played against him.
Hmm.
Played against him when I was at Harvard against UConn. Good dude. Real good
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my senior year, he was a player of the year in Connecticut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And little fun fact that you know about him, he was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays first round, and he didn't. He used his money from his contract to pay his 4 years at UConn.
Oh,
So
okay.
so literally he's a walk on. But
So you
but
freed
he
up,
was
yeah,
all
freed
American.
up a scholarship for
Yep.
somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, Vin. But Vin wasn't a player that he was in high school until he got to college. So he was
Yeah.
yeah, he took off after our freshman year in college. He just exploded.
Yeah,
Like
because he SI covers and all that stuff too,
yeah,
was it?
yeah, yeah. No, it was
Yeah.
after our junior year.
Okay.
That's when he started. That's when he got that side cover. But he was when Lamont Middleton ended up transferring to St. John's, everything shifted to Vin. Vin after our freshman sophomore year, he averaged 20 and 10. he just
Hmm.
took off, man. Everything just
Yeah.
took off for him. It was
Yeah.
just, I mean, you saw it coming.
Hmm.
You saw it coming. I used to always tell people, yo, yeah, I need to come see us play. We got this big kid. He might be league. Nah,
Hmm.
Paul, you lying. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then when the buzz started coming, I said, oh, Paul, this is you talking about. I said, trying to get y'all to come to the games now. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but Ben is special, man. Ben was
Now,
special.
now, how proud of you, man, of him getting that chip, man? Milwaukee
Yeah.
Bucks, man. How proud are you? Got
Yeah,
to be
man.
proud, right?
Yeah, man. Just like, man, it's just still beaming about that because of all the things
Hmm.
that he went through.
Yeah.
He weathered the storm. He rose from the ashes. He still was that same person. Even though he was going through his struggles, he was still that same person. You know, he never burned any bridges. People wasn't
Hmm.
willing to help him. So he worked hard. He humbled himself. And for him to hold that championship trophy, man, it was just a step on what he went through in terms of being able to bounce back. And he's still got more things to come, but he's getting ready to open. Matter of fact, it's gonna come out soon, but he's getting ready to open a rehab. He's focused
Okay.
on working with people who are dealing with addiction and recovery.
Okay.
He's gonna get ready to open a rehab center in Milwaukee. Matter
Okay.
of fact, coming at the end of this year, and then he's working on doing one here in Connecticut.
Hmm.
So because of the
Nah,
fact
good
that he's
stuff.
out in Milwaukee right now, he's that's what he's very focused on that, and that's his pride and joy right now, just helping people dealing with recovery. So he's very serious about that. So and I like people who have only seen it, he's just scratching the surface of himself, just giving back and letting people know, I'm I'm here to help you the way I help myself. I'm going to give you opportunity to be able to clean yourself up and help you get right. So he's very proud of doing that right now. So that's getting ready to open in Milwaukee by the end of the year. So and then he's gonna turn around and do one in Connecticut.
Hmm.
So he's getting a lot of support in Milwaukee with that because of the fact that he's year round with the Bucks. So that's in the works. So he didn't really give me enough details, but he said it's definitely gonna happen by the end of this year.
Nah, that's good money, man, and ain't nothing like being living proof and example for others, man. So I mean,
Right.
that's big stuff, man.
Right. And
Outside of bouncing the basketball and all that, man, this is
right.
life, man. You know,
Right.
so
Right.
that's great.
And I'm so
That's
proud of him. I love that. That's my brother. Like that's my day one.
hmm.
Day one in terms of just how it is. You go through everything. I see him at the highest of highs. I went to the draft with him.
Hmm.
I went to the draft with him. Sorry, I went to the draft with him in '93. That was a great, great feeling. And this being there, this being able to, our relationship still stood testament of time through everything.
Hmm.
And I know if I call him, he call me. We just we pick up like everything that any happen, and he
That's
knows I'm
right.
always there for him. So anything that he does, I'm going to support him no matter what. And even though of course, and when he was going through his situation, I was always there. I mean, I made sure I was there. I would call, check up on him. If I ain't reach him, I'll talk to his parents just to make
Hmm.
sure he was okay. So I just let him know I'm here and stuff. But they know. He knew. But
That's right.
he had to get himself right. So and I'm so glad. I'm so happy for him. Like when they won, I was screaming at TV, got emotional because that's
Absolutely, we
something.
should,
That's something
man.
that he wanted. I mean, he
Yes.
didn't get it as a player, but he was able to hold it as a coach. So it don't matter.
Hmm.
You got it. Get in the
Hmm.
ring. So he got in the
Hmm.
ring. So that's every
Uh,
pinnacle, every ball player's goal is to win a championship. So no matter what it is.
got it right. Speaking of proud and happiness, what are what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of my daughters, my wife,
Hmm.
without a question.
Yeah.
Without a question. Those are my biggest thrill in life, is being able to have a family. Love my
Yeah.
daughter Charlie, love my daughter Brooklyn, love
Hmm.
Stacy. My family, my immediate family. That's my biggest gratification. Being able to see them and be with them every day is complete. I mean, everything else is secondary. Um, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my parents for what they did for me, allowing me to become the person I am. Grateful for my brother Alda. He's always there. But right now, my gratification, me as an individual, is my family:
Hmm.
Stacy, Brooklyn, and Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's period in the story.
That's real, man. That's real.
And
What's
that
up?
that
That's
that's
real.
that's that's they man, that's a no given right there. That's because Stacy made me a better person. My girls made me a better person. Just being able to, as you know, as a father and husband, your family is the reason why you do what you do every day. So
Definitely, man. Nah, I hear you, man. Now, as far what's the best part about being Paul Spence?
gosh, let me see. Me, I think this my this me, this being who I am, this liking this being myself and being respectful to people, love to laugh,
Hmm.
showing love to people that show love back to me is just being this not taking not not just being even killed. I think I just don't let a lot of things get to me. As you know, we deal with life situations every day, but I think the fun part of being me is just being able to share love, share respect, and then laugh. Just being around good people, just enjoying yourself. This when you come around me, you know it. You're not gonna get a tense situation. You ain't gonna get nobody mean mugging.
Hmm.
You're gonna see me laugh, smile, and be
Yeah.
me and show love that and whatever. So it's just I don't know if that's the answer. It's just
It's your answer. It makes
yeah,
all the sense in the
yeah,
world.
yeah. It's just being able to just just show love, man. Just show love and not being rigid and mean and just making sure that everyone is when you come around me, you're gonna get good vibes. Just being
Hmm.
a good natured person and being respectful and being grateful to those who treat you well. So
Nah, absolutely, man. One last one, man. As far as what would this Paul Spence? What advice you give the 17, 18-year-old senior high school Paul Spence? What would you tell
I would my advice would to that Paul Spence will be know what you want to do with yourself in terms of being focused on just making sure things are done correctly, making sure that you have a plan on what you want to do with yourself whether it comes to getting your education. Like write down your goals. I think because I didn't know the 17, 18-year-old Paul Spence was just all about just trying to go to school and play ball. If I had to tell that Paul Spence now, I would like, yo, you need to write down what you want to do what you want to do, your top three things that you want to do as an adult.
them?
Make sure you're on time. Make sure you're focused on taking care of your responsibilities, not waiting to do things at the last minute. Um, just just making sure that you're ready, that you're focused mentally in terms of dealing with everyday life in college.
Hmm.
Because I think I didn't have a focus as we in college, we just there having fun, just
Yeah.
whatever. But I think more or less it's just having your goals and what you want to do before you go to college, or have ideas of what you want to be. Like write down all what you want to do, whatever you write down your five top things that you want to do, five top things what you want to accomplish. Five top things that you this have a system in place where you can deal with situations when it comes your way. So I think I wasn't focused in terms of it took me my junior year of college to really realize what I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
we all go through that. But if I had that opportunity to talk to a young Paul Spence, I was like, yo, just need to really, really take care of your responsibility before you want to decide to go out and have fun. So
Nah, solid, man. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, and that's the reason. Just thank you, man. Like I said, just not only just take an opportunity to talk, but just to hear stuff I never knew about you. But I just go back to my adult life, me actually getting a chance to meet you and interact and hang out. Everything that you said about just who you are, and as far as just wanting that good energy, man, and even it was always that good energy around you, man. And then even when I found out that I mean, you was one of the men and one of the men's in Hartford here playing ball and this and that. And I got to see obviously adult life, post college, and all that. Throw them up here, shoot them up. I was
right, right,
like you still know, like you can tell, like when somebody was like dead nice back when, even if they got a little rust to them, you still kind of know. You know what I mean? It's
I
just like
appreciate that.
yeah, it's kind of like, oh, okay. And then obviously just hearing stories, just how you were. And then obviously I gotta thank you for lefties, is me being lefty.
Right, 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 right,
So it's
right, right.
obviously
I
so
forgot you was a lefty. Q.
so that's
So,
always a soft spot for me. Yeah, but just all in all, even outside of that, man, just some of the things you mentioned, you talk about just being the great husband and father you are, and just your pride and joys and how they've made you a better person. I mean, just things that I could just continue to take away and be mindful of, like as I move forward, even with my life here. But just to say, man, like you being officially you somehow, some way indirectly help me or continue to help me be officially me, man. And like I said, I really appreciate you just taking this time out to talk, man. Like I said, I really enjoyed this.
no question, Q, man. You always been a solid cat when I first met you. Let me ask you a question. So, what was your first? I think you met me when I was on my way out of
Yes.
DCF. So what was your first impression when you encountered me at DCF? And like I know you was just fresh, new to the area and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw you in the office. I said, "You another brother." I said, "I got to make sure this cat's straight. I got to make sure you good. Make sure you doing
Nah,
your
you
thing."
did that right. You did that right from the door. Like that was it was like right from the door. I don't know how long I was there, but as far as when you linked up, but you made sure, like I said, in passing or you see me, you stop by, you talk, just kind of just making sure, like, hey, this is what it is. This is going to be. And just even an opportunity to see you outside of any workplace or what have you, man. Just
Right.
hanging out, just but again, you were still that same person. Was not extra to
I
you
appreciate
because
that.
people tend to switch gears when you're in different environments, man.
Right.
But you was the same old Paul to me, man. Like I
Right.
said,
I appreciate
and
that.
it's
No.
I mean, not only you appreciate, but I appreciate it. So as you try to sliver through life, and obviously when the grass is cut, snakes is show.
Right. Right.
But
Right. Right. Right.
while the
Right.
grass is still a little high, you
Right.
don't
Right.
know
Right.
who's who.
Right. Right. Right.
But you was always you, man. And like I said, to this day, man, I'm very appreciative of that, man. Like I'm very appreciative of that.
I appreciate that, man. Q, I got all the love and respect for you, man. And like I said, whatever you do, man, I'm gonna support to the highest level. And whatever
Mhm.
you need me to do, anytime you need need anything from me, you got my number. You can always call me. I'm gonna pick up. I'll call back. If I don't get you right away, I'll call you back immediately. You know how that
Yeah,
goes. So,
and I
but
definitely
and I,
keep that. How far are you from Laurel? I think it's Laurel.
uh, yeah, I'm like 20 minutes.
Okay, because I was just down there not too long
Oh,
ago.
get out of here. When?
Yeah. My stepson is out there.
How long ago was you down here?
We came down. We went down in June. We were down in
Oh,
June. So,
oh
like I
man.
said, so he just moved down that way. The end of May.
Oh wow. Yeah. Now I
So
live in
now I know.
Laurel. I live in
Yes.
Laurel. I mean, I was living in Laurel, man.
Yeah.
I was like,
Now, so
yeah,
now I know.
yeah, yeah,
We
man.
kind of did a drive by on him, but I mean, next time we obviously spend some time and maybe make it an overnight or two. Nah,
No doubt.
absolutely.
No doubt. Call me and I'll definitely link up with you. You know that. Q, come on. It's like anytime somebody from Connecticut come down, I tell them, call me. I will meet you out. Don't matter where it is. If it's
Nah,
for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm here. I come to you. You don't gotta come to me. I
nah,
come to
good to
you. And
know.
that's a Tennessee. Also, that's another thing about coming home too. Everybody expect me to come see them. I,
You
I
can't
don't
do
live,
it.
I don't live here no more. I can't do that. My time is limited. Y'all
Uh,
gotta come see me. I'm like, wow. It's like
mhm.
I love being home. That's why it's so funny. Like people get a little upset when I don't call them. I was like, I can't. It's like if I call y'all, let y'all know y'all expect me to be here. I can't do that. My time is
Yeah,
very limited. Especially I'm bringing the girls with me. That's
that's
how
what I'm
you
about
know
to
I bring
say with the
girls.
kids. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they with me. So I gotta make sure they good. So
Now I know that feeling, man. Like when I return to see my folks in Jersey, so I know that feeling.
right,
You can't see everybody. You
right,
do what
right.
you can, man. But nah, Paul, appreciate this, man. Definitely appreciate it.
No doubt, Q, man. Thank you very much for having me. And I'm like I said, I'm very grateful and humble that you even consider me for this podcast. Because
Cut it out, man.
I
Cut it
mean,
out.
I know serious, man. Because I it, I know we know each other from work, so I don't know how I got this opportunity to be on it, but I'm blessed to get on it, man. For real, man.
Because of who
And
you are and what I just mentioned about you, man. Like I
yeah,
said,
man. And
definitely.
and like I said, I'm humbled. Like I said, I'm humbled. I'm always humbled that like I'm grateful and humbled to know you because like I said, you was a cool cat from day one.
Hmm.
And like I said, with you doing this and with everything that happened with the country, you know, this is it's become a blessing for you because it's something that's a vessel for you that you can grow on and do your thing
Yeah,
and get people to talk about whoever or whatever on your platform, no matter what the subject is. This
yeah.
is a great thing. I'm glad I'm able to be a part of this, and and I thank you again for inviting me on this.
Nah, no problem, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, bro. I love you, man. For real,
Back at
respect,
you, man.
love, and respect. Yes, sir.
Back at you, man. We'll talk. Good stuff. Good stuff. Always enjoy conversations, people that you do know of, and just kind of just get to know them. You know, whether it's athletics, whether it's family, just life in general. Like I said, Paul, man, like solid guy there, man. Like I said, I really appreciate it, man. So that being said, though, I'm gonna slide out. I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.